So basically, this is going to be a guide on how to do 80% for Oblivion. I figured I'd just do it while I'm streaming, so I don't have to like record off stream, and we don't have like an updated guide on like the new strats and stuff. So, a couple things is every run past the height glitch that we're going to do requires you to restart the game in case you didn't know that. Also, here's something you should do before you do runs. I'm just going to load any save file. I'm going to load this glitchless save. You're going to want to set up your inventory because the way your inventory is on your last save is what it's going to be until it changes again or until you restart your game. So what I'm saying is load up a character, make a new one, or load a save, doesn't matter. Just go to your alchemy tab. The reason to do that is so that you're on the alchemy tab for the glitch we're going to do later. So that's the first thing. My inputs are not... Okay, there goes. My inputs weren't showing. Why are my inputs not showing? Hold on one second. No board is just being awful right now. Okay. So now that you set up your inventory like that, the basics of the run are essentially you are going to make a red guard, and it has to be Dragon's Hill Mountain. Name it what you want, doesn't really matter. So stand next to the store so you start the dialogue right away. There's going to be a setup, not really a setup, but try to be as close to like, you know, the wall as you can while not being too close, you know, to save time. I didn't mean to cast that. So basically, there's going to be a couple things here. So you're going to open up your spellbook. I have this bound to my number 6 button. I have a MMO mouse, which means I have numbers on the side. You're going to open up your spellbook. If you don't have a keybind for that, you should. And then you're going to want to bind your adrenaline rush. You can just hover over and press the number you want to bind it to. And then you're going to want to... I press D to go right twice, and then bind my flare. So you need to have both of these spells bound. You need your adrenaline rush and your flare. Those are very important. And then essentially this part, we're just going to be waiting for the Emperor and such to show up. But there's not much really to do right now. The first like minute and a half of this is a whole lot of nothing, but you wait for the Emperor to show up, and then we're going to basically punch the hell out of Glenroy. He's one of the guards. There's going to be like the big parts of 80% is like getting Glenroy to follow you and making sure that you can get him to where you need to go as fast as possible. Punching the guards is faster. You have to punch them 5 times to get them to aggro. Later, when we're deeper into the jails, it'll be like 4 punches, but we don't need to really talk about that yet. So we're waiting for Glenroy, the Emperor, and everything to show up. And then we're going to basically skip all the dialogue. Try to keep your mouse up, by the way. Your mouse is tracked in real time. So if I were to move my camera up, my mouse is going to be at the top. If I move it down, it's going to be at the bottom. So try to keep it up a little bit because you want to make sure you're getting only the top prompts for the Emperor. If you do the bottom prompt, it'll end up losing you time. You'll know you're in the right spot if you can't move after she says, "Stay back, prisoner."
Let's go. We're not out of this yet.
Patrick Stewart shows up. Just mash through his dialogue and just make sure your camera's up a little bit so you only get the top dialogues. So when we're allowed to move here, we're going to punch Glenroy 5 times. Aggro the guards.
Better not close this one. There's no way to open it from the other side.
5 punches. All the guards are going to aggro. This is a little bit of RNG and how fast they are, so keep that in mind. Jump down here. We're basically waiting for Renault to come down. She came down pretty fast. So we're going to stand about right here and let her come close. Then we're going to yield to her. Then we're going to jump up here. An assassin's going to spawn right now. I put my fists away. After she says left, kill another one, and then kill this last one. And now you want to very quickly run outside of this room and go to like almost the top of the stairs. Then turn back around. This is going to skip the dialogue that's happening here. And then you're going to wait. The wall's going to break soon. Cast Adrenaline Rush, and now you're basically going to want to come loot the skeleton, grab the bow, loot this guy, go in here. Now we're basically in a... The reason why we have this is because Adrenaline Rush is a big speed boost. It lets us go really fast. A lot of that is very basic, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly make a little quick save. We're going to do a glitch here. This is the item duping glitch. What is essentially going to happen is, and I'll show you, is we're going to open the box. We're going to grab our arrows. We should have about 28 of them or something. And we're going to drag them on top of the potion of respite. So it looks like this. You're going to press F once you're in here to bring up the other side. And you're going to grab the arrows, drag them over the respite. You'll get this prompt. You hit continue, and then you actually grab the respite. Now, Once you close out of this, you're going to press your inventory button. I have a keybind for 4 to bring it open. And then since we set up our inventory earlier to be on the alchemy side, you're going to want to press a keybind to make sure it's bound, right? So for me, it's going to be 3. And then you can hit escape twice, and now we're out of that. And now you have a whole bunch of stamina pots. And the reason that we need that is so we can never lose sprint. And you're going to want to keep your stamina. You want to keep tapping the potion. We're trying to keep it like a little bit above a 4th. The reason I took the wrong turn there. The reason for that is because we need the adrenaline rush to run out and bring our stamina down to 0. So we're going to keep running here. This path is all very set. Drink the potions a little bit. And like I said, we want to keep it around a certain point so that when adrenaline rush runs out, again, it's like a 4th of the stamina bar. And you're going to want to follow the lines I'm kind of taking here. Obviously, not be slow or anything. And then you'll know it worked when you're running and you're out of stamina and your stamina's not recharging. So we're going to go through this. Now, this is the big part of the run. What we're going to do is I'm going to face my camera down and scroll in a whole bunch to make sure my camera breaks. The reason we do this is you can do this in a few different ways. Other runners do it in different ways, but this is the most consistent way I thought of doing it. Is going through the door, looking down, and just scroll in as much as you can. You want your camera to be pretty high up. It'll kind of look like this, where you're really high up and you're essentially glitched out of the map a little bit. This is super important. This is how we clip through the walls and how we basically do any percent, right? So when your camera's up like this, it's going to be really hard to move and navigate because it actually moves your model to where you're facing. But if you scroll out back into third person, you'll be able to see a little bit better. So that skip's very important. You know, rewatch that part as much as you can. That's going to be one of the biggest parts. Now, this part's also very important. This is where a lot of runs die, is the Glenroy and this assassin part here. So I'll kind of talk about it. We'll make a quick little save. We're going to run down here, and we're going to crouch, and we're going to pickpocket him, and then close out of the menu, and then we're going to shoot a fireball at that guy, and apparently miss. Hold on. Let's do that one more time. A little unsure how that missed, but we'll do that again. You're going to run down. You're going to pickpocket, and then you can zoom in to your first person to make that easier. The door's going to open after you do that. You want to kill that assassin as fast as possible. Glenroy's going to... So when you hear the door open, the little click, you're going to want to punch Glenroy. This is super, super important that you punch him because it stops the guards in the following room from coming up here. So now all we have to do is kill these 3 guards that come up here. Kill them as fast as you can.
No, he is not one of them.
And now we're waiting for Septum to talk. So we're going to mash through his dialogue, and we're going to choose the steed. It's the top left constellation, essentially. So we're going to mash through, and it's going to be the steed that you want. It's just for the movement speed. And continue, and then we're going to mash again. Once you do this, now we're going to want to punch Glenroy 5 times again. And again, staying in third person makes this easier. This is to piss him off and make sure he chases you. And then while they're chasing, you're essentially going to come down here. You're going to find 3 more guards. You're going to want to kill them before they get here. And then this part, there's this little beam right in front of us. We're going to try to stand in like a certain spot. You'll kind of get a gist of it from where I'm standing. And now Glenroy and them are coming. This is a little RNG. Sometimes the Emperor is before them, and that's bad. But we're going to want to yield to Glenroy when he's like just in front of us. I'm going to hold right click so the Emperor is here early. You'll get that Brutus dialogue sometimes. If Brutus and the Emperor are first, you'll get that Brutus dialogue. That's just random. If Glenroy is first, you'll just yield to him. Then what's going to happen is Glenroy is going to kind of come up to this spot. It's a little slow. But when he starts walking towards the door is when you can leave. That Brutus, I don't think his name is Brutus. Boris? That Boris dialogue, you can sometimes avoid it if you're really, really, really fast, but it didn't work out this way. Otherwise, he would talk to you here. So now that we're here, this is where it all kind of like comes together. We're going to run into a specific spot, so we're going to stand right here. And I'm going to go into my inventory, and we're just going to basically jump over to my weapons. And we need to equip the bow and the arrows. So you need to have these on, and you need to be standing kind of close to Glenroy here, but not super close. When he says hold, that means we can start going.
Hold up.
Okay, now we can run. Now, this lineup, it can look tricky, so I'm going to make a quick save. I'm going to run, and I'm going to press left click now and kind of get into this wall to shoot the guard. Not the guard, the assassin. What that's going to do is it's going to pull him around to the gate that we need to go to. When he gets here, we're essentially going to run over here, and we're going to crouch, and we're going to hold right click and look down. we're going to wait for the assassin to get to the gate. When he does, keep holding right click, and then you're going to press E on him. You can let go of right click and then press E again immediately. This is so that we can yield and then pickpocket. And we're going to press F immediately and reverse pickpocket some lockpicks into him. So it'll look like this.
Looks clear. That's the best.
And then when you do this, now that the lockpicks are on, you're going to press escape, and you're going to want to fire an arrow immediately to hit him. What this is going to do is it's going to force him to open the door. And you're going to kill him right away.
You can do?
And I missed. The pause kind of messed it up a little bit. Let's run it again. Just to show you what it looks like. So again, we're going to hold left click. Hit him. Crouch here. Look down.
Looks clear. Come on. We're almost through to the
I'll let
Do this again.
you live.
Shoot an
this
arrow.
time,
He's going to open the door. We're going to kill him with the fireball. Put the bow away. You're going to want to do not stand too close to Glenn right here. You want to kind of stand a little bit away, but enough to interact with him. If you're too close, you're going to get double dialogue. Stand a little bit away. And what's going to happen is he's going to say no. When he says no, you can interact with him. Match through the prompts. Select rogue at the bottom. And then you're going to book it out.
No.
We're going to mash. And again, we're going to choose rogue. Hit continue. And then you're going to get away from him so he doesn't do the dialogue. And then now, we're basically going to go right to the sewers. Now, this part's just all about lines. I would recommend scrolling out to go into third person so you can fix the camera a bit. It's easier to navigate. Remember that you have a bunch of potions of respite, so keep your stamina full. You should never stop running through this part. Then we're going to exit out of the sewers. Now, this part is where it gets a little bit easier. This is kind of the ending of the run, right? So you're going to open up your map and go to the temple district right away. That's going to be towards the bottom here above the water side. When we do this, we still have the height glitch. So we're going to run in and we're going to clip through this door right ahead of us. That's this guy right here. You want to be in first person. So when you clip through here, you're going to see there's another door right here. It's easier to interact with it if you crouch right away. So interact with this door. This basically warps us to the end of the game. We were not supposed to be. And you're going to spin your camera around right away. Interact with the door again to get us out. And now we're at the end of the game, basically. You're going to run down here to trigger this quest dialogue. So I mash enter here to skip it. And then we're going to run in here. Now, a little bit of RNG with Martin. You sometimes want to be really fast, and it'll be really nice. You go through that tutorial dialogue. Now, you're going to kind of run over here. And now we just wait. Oh, hold on. Because it took too long outside, I aggroed enemies. So let me just do that again. It's kind of like, you can see how you have to retry if you stop doing anything at all. 80% is really fast, so you have to make sure you're doing everything as quickly as you possibly can. For tutorial's sake, stopping and showing you, well, obviously, as you can see, cause some issues. So do the clip, turn around, go out of bounds, go back through the door. And we're going to run, trigger this dialogue, turn around, go inside before any enemies can aggro onto us. Run over here. We're going to wait for 12 hours. So you want to wait 12 so that Martin will guarantee come in. Martin's going to come in, and he's going to force talk to you, and you don't have to interact with him. When he talks to you, there's two dialogues waiting for you. That tutorial one that popped up earlier is going to pop up again here. So you're going to let Martin talk to you. This tutorial can come up. Mash through it, and now we're waiting for the other dialogue, the other quest prompt. So you're going to mash enter. When it pops up, okay, Martin's going to run here. You interact, mash, and you're done.
I do what I...
That's 80%. He's not supposed to do that second dialogue there, but happens.